Hello, I am Matt Cunner. I've been a CP player since the D1, and I love this game very much, especially because I was a fan of an old ancestor of this one called Blaystorm. In this tutorial, I will tell you about the meta. What is it? Where is needed? Who or what is meta in CB and why? Let's start by saying that meta is an important concept in video games, especially in PvP. The meta is nothing more than choosing, following the rules of the game and with the right experience, the things that allows you to have a greater chance of winning or to reach a specific video game goals. In teamfight, the meta is just as important as the ability of the individual player. Where do we use the meta? The meta is used for territory wars, a mode that allows you to fight between real organized teams and also is a fantasy version of the era of warring states. Ranked siege, siege battles where wherever achieves the greatest results finishes in the scoreboards and with excellent prizes, like attires, for example, of CB. Then we have the quests. The quests are missions that allows you to unlock units where many of them are the strongest in the game at the moment. So using the meta improve or accelerates the possibility and the time of having them without spending too much time or spending money. The third question, who is meta in CB? Unit and hero classes. But first, we'll talk about the units. First of all, I want to say this before starting about the units. To become meta, these ones must have maximum level, right veterancy, choices, and the best possible doctrines for them. Of course, some units are still meta even without the full best docs possible, but there are others that are half without it. An example are Pavis without double shots. The meta of the units is divided into four groups: fundamental meta, anti-meta, support meta, and the alternative meta, which is very important and I will tell you about after that. The fundamental meta are essentially the cavalry units. From the beginning of the game, cavalry was always important and fundamental, but now, at the current state of the game, only a few are actually meta. Hussars, thanks of their powerful charge. Arminger, mostly for their cover commander and excellent melee fighter. And also the Keshig, for their recent buff that make them excellent hero killers, also melee killers, melee units killers. Perhaps Cataprak will get part of the meta soon. Who knows? We will get 25 November 2021 the patch and we'll see. Now that we know what are the fundamental meta, players need units to defeat the fundamental meta. So here comes the anti-meta. The anti-meta units are Modao, especially for their Modao defense, Imperial Pikes, especially for their advance that is also used for other things than just blocking the cavalry. Fortebraccio or Fortebraccio, with their damage and pike length, they can be used in points, which with the right support, they can be very annoying for the enemies cavalry, and also enemies heroes and more. Finally, even they are not a specific anti-meta, we have the evolution of the Spear Sergeant, called Stalwarts in my games. These guys are the best choice of shield at the moment. I can say without a doubt that they are the only choice for if you need good shields for 90% of the situations, because they have the brace, they are tanky, and they are very good. When we talk of meta, we know that we need the best unit for the job. Okay, other units can be still good, but not good as the meta. Now that we know what is the anti-meta and the fundamental, people need to find some units that can damage the enemies without get their hands dirty. Here comes the support meta. Who are they? They are units that allows you in certain situations with a limited number per team to damage the enemies from the range. But you need a limited number because if you have too much of them, you lost everything. Because you don't have nothing to defend them. And they are slow on killing. They need time. And they need to not be hit most of the times. These units, in fact, need constant babysittings by or the player itself or his teammates. And they are Falconetti, a good anti-group, anti-siege, and anti-artilleries, with their great long range and blunt damage. The Zippo Boys, great for slowing down cavalry, heroes, and charging units with their fire. We have also the Shenji. With their grenades, they can strike where the enemy feels safe. Shenji moved the battle in another situation. Now there are places that in the past was safe, now they are not anymore because of them. Because they can throw, their damage is not very good, but they can throw in position that you think to be safe, but you are not. And finally, we have Pavise. While they are not great at damage, they penetrate shields, they can slow cavalry, and they have an incredible accuracy. Also, if you have double shot, they can become very very strong using that ability in the right moment. So we have finished the three of four groups. Now we have alternatives units. They are important units, and in some areas they can be necessary. We have the Axe Raiders. They can bypassing everything. They can throw the axe like the javelins, and they can auto healing while they suffering damage, becoming very very tanky. We have Berserkers, a powerful melee units for quick attacks, especially climbing the ladders, being only 8. Thanks to the frenzy and the ability to healing while they fight, they are a sort of 8 small Nodachi that can become unstoppable for a few seconds with the frenzy. We have also the Shield Maidens. They can defend, they can attack, but mostly they can buff. These girls are very useful in team with a large group united, combined, and they can buff with attack and defense, both attack and defense, if used in the current moment. Also, they can be good on attacking and defending, even they are not the meta of defense or the meta of attack. So they are not the meta of shields big shields troop and not the meta of assault troops. They are good on both, but they have the buff that can be very very useful. If you don't know if you are good or not, you can try it in some free battles where people using all mostly uh, golden era units, and you can see that if you are well prepared, you go well organized, they can do their job very well. Buff defense, buff attack, etc. We have Iron Reaper. Thanks to the recent buff, they have outclassed Siladars as kings of the walls fight. And the great thing is that they fight better with the sword than the flare now, if you use well this tiger step. Other alternatives meta units are Greyar Garrison and Palace Guards, because they are excellent stoppers in areas where cavalry cannot move as they wish. Also, they are very good in small streets where people cannot flank them. A little note for Imperial Spearmen, because they are good but only where cavalry and Falconetti cannot damage them. Because their damage, they are not strong like stalwarts, but they can still defend pretty well. Finally, part of the last units of the alternative meta, we have the low-cost leadership units that have a very excellent performance. Unit used especially for normal siege, but also in rank. Rarely in territory wars. If used correctly, they can change the battle. Namkham. We have the Halbardier Evolution, the evolution of the Halbardiers. Lanzekennek for the My Games. We have Outriders. Condottieri. And finally, Pike Militia. A little note for Village Watchmen, being the best villager at the moment. If you need some villager to move towers for normal siege quest or rank siege as attacker, you can use it. Why this guy? Because they are not squishy at all, being just 30 of leadership. They are 38. They have the speed, sprint, and they also have the swamp. With the long range, make them able to damage some low cavalry. So, if you need a villager, the best choice at the moment are Village Watchmen. You are now wondering, what about the others? The others units in this game? Yes, there are some that if you put them in the right hands of expert players, they can make good things. Azaps, Siladars, sometimes even wolves, or even Liao's Rangers, etc. etc. But they are not meta, because the meta now is not moving shield pike, slowly advancing, slowly unite. No, the meta now is get the result as more fast as possible. So you need to push, push, and push. So move the people out of the base, move the people, your people inside the base. You need to be fast. That's why cavalry is still good. That's why Axe Raider are super good, because they can bypassing everything and entering into battle. That's why shields are not so good anymore like in the past. You need to be fast, you need to be good, and you need to do damage as more as possible. About the hero classes meta, the only two that are meta are Short Sword and Maul. Maul, especially for the grab and the devastating ability to destroy everything in their path with his ability. Short Sword is because if you use the meta, you have a lot of units that deals a lot of damage, and the hero needs to be tanky or is forced to stay away from the fight. Short Sword can fight, they are very tanky, and they are a good choice of class if you need to go and suicide. Very good, especially for the territory wars. The other classes are still good. There are classes like Poleaxe, Musket, Dual Blades. They are still good. I don't say that they are not good. But the best, the meta at the moment are Short Sword and Maul. This is the situation of the game. I hope the video was helpful. I hope you have something to ask. You have, if you want to talk about of something, you have better ideas. You know something that I don't know. I feel free to share. And see you in the battlefield. Ciao, ciao.